Hi there, and welcome to This Day in History for December 27th. December 27th is the 361st day of the year in the Gregorian calendar, 362nd in leap years, with 4 days remaining to the end of the year. As you may be aware, one of my research tools is the Merriam-Webster Online Dictionary. Merriam-Webster have declared the word of the year for 2023 as authentic, most likely due to a substantial increase in lookups for this word in 2023. Authentic is an adjective that means real, actual, not false or imitation, such as an authentic upstate accent. True to one's own personality, spirit, or character, as in one who is sincere and authentic. Worthy of acceptance or belief as conforming to or based on fact, such as a piece of literature that paints an authentic picture of our society. Conforming to an original so as to reproduce essential features, as in the case of an authentic reproduction of a colonial farmhouse, or made or done in the same way as an original, such as authentic Mexican food. There's yet another definition of the word authentic that is rarely used anymore, and that is authoritative. The word authentic comes to us through several stops in Middle English, Anglo-French and medieval Latin before that, and Greek before that. First known use of the word authentic is in the 1300s. Authentic. Remember, if you have a word that you would like us to examine in this Word of the Day segment, drop it in the comments. We'll take a look at it. And with that, the showplace of the nation, Radio City Music Hall, opened on December 27th, 1932. At the height of the Great Depression, thousands turned out for the opening of Radio City Music Hall, a magnificent Art Deco theater in New York City. Radio City Music Hall was designed as a palace for the people, a place of beauty where ordinary people could see high-quality entertainment. Since its 1932 opening, more than 300 million people have gone to Radio City to enjoy movies. Radio City Music Hall has hosted over 650 movies and live shows and events in addition to that. On December 27, 1941, the Federal Office of Price Administration initiated its first rationing program in support of the American war effort in World War II. It mandated that from that day on, no driver would be permitted to own more than 5 automobile tires. President Roosevelt had established the Office of Price Administration and Civilian Supply in April of 1941 to stabilize prices in rents and prevent unwarranted increases in them, to prevent profiteering, hoarding, and speculation in an effort to make sure that defense appropriations would not be exhausted by excessive prices, to protect those with fixed incomes from undue impairment of their living standards, to assist in securing adequate production, and to prevent a post-emergency collapse of values. In August 1941, the Office of Price Administration and Civilian Supplies name was streamlined to simply Office of Price Administration, or OPA. The OPA was tasked with 2 types of rationing programs. The first limited the purchase of certain commodities such as tires, cars, metal typewriters, bicycles, stoves, rubber shoes, to people who had demonstrated a particular need for them. The second limited the quantity of things like butter, coffee, sugar, cooking fat, gasoline, and non-rubber shoes, which every citizen was allowed to buy. As a result, of course, a black market flourished. Studies estimated that 25% of all purchases during the war were illegal ones. No one had yet figured out how to make a suitable, high-quality artificial rubber, and Japanese occupations in the Far East had made it impossible to get rubber from the plantations in the Dutch East Indies. What little rubber was available went straight to airplane and munitions factories. The OPA especially wanted to encourage people to care for the automobile tires they already had, Ads urged people to put less wear on their tires by driving in carpools. One of their mottos was, "When you ride alone, you ride with Hitler." Another announced, "To win this war, more people have got to enjoy riding in fewer cars." To conserve rubber and gasoline, the national victory speed limit was 35 miles per hour. Meanwhile, scrap rubber drives collected old raincoats, garden hoses, and bathing caps. Rationing and recycling, collecting items like tin cans and used cooking fat for reuse, was a way to make ordinary citizens feel like they were part of what one ad called a fighting unit on the home front. During the war, the OPA rationed almost every commodity it could think of, but by the end of 1945, only 2 rationing programs, for sugar and for rubber tires, remained in place. The rationing finally ended a few days over 4 years later on December 31st, 1945. This is the birthday of singer-songwriter Carla Bonoff, born December 27, 1951. She began writing songs as a teenager and got started as a backup vocalist for Linda Ronstadt and Wendy Waldman, and released her debut self-titled album in 1977. Her own rendition of Personally, written by Paul Kelly and Gene Page, was Carla's only top 40 single, but she wrote plenty of songs that other people would have hits with. And we'll talk about one of those in a little bit. Meanwhile, Linda Ronstadt has released several songs that Carla wrote, 3 of them on the album Hasten Down the Wind, and All My Life by Linda Ronstadt and Aaron Neville. Beautiful, that one. Tell Me Why by Winona Judd, Isn't It Always Love by Lynn Anderson, and Home by Bonnie Raitt are a few others. Carla Bonoff is still alive, still working, has concerts coming up in 2024. I'll leave a link to her website for you. Carla Bonoff. Now, if you're curious about what I might have talked about in a previous year for December 27th, I'll leave a link to one of those episodes for you. Today's song is Home by Bonnie Raitt, written by Carla Bonoff. Home wasn't released as a single as far as I can tell, but it does appear on Bonnie's 1977 album, Sweet Forgiveness. Pretty sure I had that one on a cassette and played it till the wheels came off. Some great songs on that album. Thanks to Carla Bonoff for writing this one, and thanks to Bonnie Raitt for singing it. Beautiful song, Home by Bonnie Raitt. Link in the description. And I think that's going to do it for us today. Thank you so much for watching. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. Feel free to share this video with a link in your email, messaging, or social media. If you enjoyed this series, check out the playlist that contains these videos, and I'll put a link to that in the description. That description lives on YouTube, so for other platforms, I'll include a link to my blog page that's called No Really. You can also find me on Rumble, BitChute, and Odyssey. All those links in that description. Alrighty, that's all I can think of right now. Thanks again and all. See you next time. This is the birthday.
I didn't get that. Could you try again?
I wasn't talking to you. Are you kidding me? Okay, hold on. We got to make that be quiet. Hi there, and welcome to This Day in History for... Oh, where's your microphone? Okay, we don't want to say the same thing twice. Oh, get your microphone. What is it with you and this microphone? Okay, here we go. Okay, we are still recording. That's great. Okay. How about that? We'll have a lot to edit today. Cacophony is a sound. Cacophony is a noun that you got to read it the right way. Let's start over. It's 8 o'clock, so all of the reminders are going to be dinging. I forgot to turn those off. Okay, stop it. Don't alienate people who can be helpful to you. Flinging happiness all over the place. Alrighty, back to work. I think we got it this time.